Gas Talk.
We're good.
Gucci?
Yep.
For sure.
This is the Bling Blow.
This is a bling blow? Take two.
Second place, hybrid hash mash cup.
Was it flour or pre-roll? Or just... So
It
what?
was flour.
So what is a...
The Sharpies won second place pre-roll.
But it's like, wouldn't it still be the flour because you put the flour in the pre-roll?
Yeah, some people say it's the roller or something. I don't know. There's a usually when it's a hash competition, the roller will go up and take the trophy home.
What?
Yeah.
Not the
Like
washer?
a lot of the time, yeah. The roller who takes it home.
I mean, the roller should get credit for end
I mean,
product.
especially if it's like two different companies, like a collab.
Then the third party will take. That's fair, so I guess neither company. But I mean, as far as just a pre-roll with flour and a filter tip, it should still be a flour thing. But
Yeah.
I have my opinion, and everybody doesn't always agree. But that's why this is Gas Talk, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in, watching, listening. I am yours truly, Chuck. Thank Dad. And I got with me the champs, man. 3-time, that's what we were just talking about. Hash Bash Cup champs this year. The guys from Kalkaska making it happen. Flos, what's up, fellas?
What up? What up?
What's up, guys?
Oh, another Thursday. Is it Thursday?
It's Thursday.
Yes,
It's
sir.
Thursday. Another Thursday in the world of the world.
Turk Thursday.
Turk Thursday. No, it's good. We just chilling, man. We're glad you finally got connected. Took a little bit. What you got here? How you doing?
Good, man.
Good shit.
Timmy Holden, Brad Dad Reaper, owner and operator, Flos Cannabis.
For those that
How's
don't know.
everybody doing?
Salad.
Solid. And who are you, my handsome friend with the curls?
I'm Austin. I was brought on to run sales, marketing, and be a partner on this project. So Timmy and I hold down the ownership duties and be the best representation that we can for the quality product that we have growing out there in Kalkaska.
You guys are definitely doing your thing. Fucking turn that growing pains corner of, starting out. How long you guys been around? 2.5, 3 years now?
Yeah. So, just turning on the 3rd year, just renewed our license. July 4th, I believe, is our renewal every year.
But that's super fresh. So, because like I was saying before we got the camera rolling, like, everybody starts out, not many people start out, like, fire as fuck. But I'll definitely say, like, I'm impressed now. Not just because of the Hash Bash Cup and whatnot, because I don't give a shit about awards. But stuff you're putting out now is consistently up there with a lot of brands that I like and deem fire. So, I'm happy to have you guys on. Glad y'all took the time out your busy day. But, let the people know a little bit about Flos and Tim. Like, how'd you get started in this weed thing?
So, I originally started smoking weed in high school. I just absolutely did fall in love with it. My mom used to smoke but didn't smoke anymore. My dad still smoked from time to time but wasn't an advocate of me smoking. I tried to actually grow my first plant in their house in high school. It didn't last very long. I think the seeds got about to 6 inches before my mom said, "What is that going like coming out of your closet?" And she poo-pooed that idea right out the door. I then moved the idea to my brother's house at Wayne State, where I got a 1,000-watt single-ended metal halide glass dome, the hood, like pretty much what people call dinosaur bulbs now, what burned down people's houses, and had just a little 1,000-watt setup closet in his Wayne State house down on Trouble at Warren. That's where I really started to trial and error my first plant. I actually didn't even send it to flower. I just had kept it in the veg cycle until it grew out this massive plant. I'm like, why is it not growing bud? And to find out that I need to send it to its flower cycle of a 12 glow. So definitely learned by error, trial and error. I moved out to New Mexico, Angel Fire, to be a ski instructor. My dad's friend lived out there who grew in a garage. I then got to see what growing correctly truly was. They were controlling the atmosphere, the CO2, pumping in humidity, sucking out humidity. You know, they really knew what they were doing. I knew what I was doing in Detroit was not growing weed, and this was growing.
And what year? You remember what year this was? Like you were out out west.
That would have been back in 2010. So 2008 to 2010, I was trying to grow at Wayne State, and we did grow some successful weed, but we didn't grow like. I remember I had like this huge nug. It was like an ounce. It was huge, but it was just like this fluffy ball nug, you know. And we thought that was fire, you know. Like I think I sold that 1 ounce nug for $400 back then. Like I like, you know, but it wasn't like you know dad's flower like you get nowadays. Most people would look at it and be like, "Is that some outdoor booth?" You know.
People love
yeah,
bench.
ton of orange hairs and not a lot of crystals, you know, stuff that would make you sweat and cough a little bit.
No trichomes.
So, 2010, moved to New Mexico, learned how to grow weed a little better. 2011, my brother was graduating college, his college graduation, got into a car accident, passed away, and I moved back to support my family, my mom and dad. It was just me and him, so I became the only child. And I bought a house in Southfield. They helped me buy it, and I blew up the basement and the garage, which eventually led to 8 houses around the Metro Detroit area.
You blew up 8 houses?
By blowing up, I mean like grows. You know, I think. In my Southfield house, we had 12 lights in the basement, which was a lot back then for a basement grow.
Never heard that term.
Yeah, blowing up the basement.
Yeah. I blow up the bathroom.
You know, growing in moldy Detroit basements, moldy wet basements. I always tell people I come from the musty, moldy weed of Metro Detroit. So 2012, 2013, I bought a place up here in Grayling, not too far from the Kalkaska facility. Started to experiment with some greenhouses and built out a pole barn grow, which is pretty much a duplicate of one of our rooms here. I would say our rooms here are a lot more high-tech and a lot nicer. They're built out with DPS paneling, this insulated foam metal interlocking paneling. They're pretty much like huge coolers, you know.
These facilities nowadays are crazy.
I could fail at this and, you know, just store food here eventually
For
if
the
I really wanted
apocalypse.
to. But that would be a depressing time for Flos. I mean, we're
You're
not
not.
going there.
You're not gonna get there. Did you see it? So coming from the basements, blowing up, you know, more than half a dozen basements and whatnot. Did you see it like, you know, then you go into prison for a little bit? Did you see Flos getting here? Like, did you ever think you'd sell legal cannabis?
Not originally. And like when I originally got out of my jail sentence, I just got right back into it. What made me get into metric was having kids. It was having my first kid in my hand and realizing that I don't want him to miss a day with dad, you know, and I guess I will do whatever I gotta do for him not to miss a day with dad. And I was not gonna go corporate. I'm not a person to sit at a desk. I'm also like invested into this industry. I went to prison for it. I got the the resume, look me up. It's right there, rap after rap after rap for weed. I got the longest rep shit in this facility. So you gotta do like a little background check on anybody who comes in here. And my thing's like 3 or 4 pages long. Marijuana charge, petty marijuana charge, petty marijuana charge, not so petty marijuana charge, petty marijuana charge.
Can you elaborate on the not so petty marijuana charge?
So the not so petty marijuana charge was my first year of running the greenhouse. I had bought a truck, a big diesel truck, and had lifted it and put some bigger tires on it. I didn't realize that putting those tires on would throw off my speedometer. I travel at constant 7 over. Like, I am aggressively speeding. I don't want to look innocent.
Have you seen my stories?
I'm getting pulled over. I gotta look like, it's like, he was driving just too fast to pull him. They're gonna pull me over now. They're gonna be like, that's the guy who was driving just too fast. I saw his podcast. Look for number 7. If they're going 7 miles an hour. But yeah, so, threw off my speedometer. I got pulled over. I had, I think it was 67 pounds of weed on me.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. And I think I had just a little bit of MDMA because we were going to Electric Forest shortly after some, I forget. I don't know. But that is on there too because people bring it up. I'm just straight up. I used to go around to all the festivals and have my fun. But I'm a grown adult now and I had to tone off the fun sometimes. Not saying that anybody shouldn't go out and have
every now and then
and experience what the world has to offer. Definitely experience what the world has to offer. I ended up sitting through my trial because I knew I was going to prison because the first pre-sentence, the judge said, how has this guy not been to jail yet? And I was just like, oh yeah, he is gonna slap me in the face. So I knew right away.
And what year?
So this would have been 2012 into 13.
Oh yeah, so it still wasn't even. It was medical, but
yes, because I think it was September. It was the end of September that I got pulled over. It was the day before my wife's birthday. To make it even better for her birthday.
Oh yeah, she
wasn't my wife then, but we were just kind of starting to date.
But she is now. She's a real one. She's stuck around. That's what's up.
Stuck around.
It definitely takes a real one to grow.
Yeah, to deal with all the shit, to be able to have to check in every day, and some days Christmas comes second, and she just understands that. So she's about as real as she can get. She's actually the one who created our logo. She created our brand. She came up with the name. I just grow good weed. I'm not a branding guy. I'm not a marketing guy. I'm not a sales guy. I mean, most people I'll tell to just fuck off if you piss me off. So it's nice having a guy like Austin over there who can keep calm, cool, and collected when you got somebody who owes you a bunch of money, who doesn't want to pay you. In black market days, if my people didn't want to pay me or if they were late, they would let me know. These people. Dude, if they owe you money, they just don't answer.
They laugh in your face. It's crazy. Austin's so cool and just a calm way. I didn't even think he was a salesperson, because I've dealt with all types of salespeople being a purchaser, and it's he just came in, he was chill. And then the salespeople that don't mind doing a vendor day or actually touching the people, those are the ones that you clearly see stepping a little bit above and beyond, and their brand is actually a little bit better because they care. It's all about care. Like we were talking about earlier, they care about the wrong money. They care about the green, but not the green. You know what I'm saying? So it's shitty. But shout out to brands like you guys that actually do it right and that give a fuck, because that's what it takes. So 2025, I know you said you never really entered competitions, but do you see it staying that way for brands to stay relevant in metric?
I I definitely think so. I mean, I'll enter any competition that I'm invited to. You know, even out of state ones, just to, you know, let people know, like, you know, we're pushing out some fire, and I'll put my weed up against anybody's, and I know I'm not always going to win. I'm not always going to stand up on the podium, you know, but I'll put myself out there, and I think just being a competitor in some of these competitions is, you know, we're just having that face and having that time and saying, hey, we're one of 14 brands that got invited to bring your best bag.
Yeah.
You know, like we're one of, I don't know how many people are in
the Olympics.
So, yeah, you know, like there's
I
just
gotta get a sneak peek of what's the entry.
We're going up against the best of the best brands. We can't expect to fucking win, you know, but we're also in the group of the best brands. So like, hey, we're here, baby. And we grow 15 different strands, so I'm not always growing something that, like, I would enter into the Olympics. Like, you know, if I could have my choice, I would enter our Beach Canyons Olympics that's going to come down in, like, 20 days. Like, right when entries are due, but it's just not going to make, you know, cure time.
Not going to make the
just,
cut.
like, yeah, I don't want to rush the end product just to try and push something out. You know, and essentially, like, you're here, you've already grown for 70 to 90 days. Like, you're going to push an extra week or two to try and get into a competition and essentially ruin your product. I mean, I think that's where a lot of people do fail is, like, they know how to grow good weed, but they don't know how to cure it. And they don't have a room designed to cure the amount of weed that they're growing. They're trying to clear their weed too quick,
and they're just
ruining it, you know? Because I have walked into a lot of facilities, I've been impressed with what they're growing. It smells good on the plant, but something doesn't finish.
It doesn't translate to the actual smoke. Yeah. But do you think that's kind of like that learning curve of being a metric facility now and not just doing it in your basement and figuring it out how you did 10 years ago compared to having to follow all these rules and regulations and whatnot?
Yeah, I mean, the rules and regulations suck. I mean, we just got hit with two $5,000 fines for, like, silly pieces of paperwork, you know? Like, the fact that I have to pay $20,000 a year and then I have a regulatory officer come in and doesn't teach me what I need to do or doesn't, you know, what's the saying? Educate before you regulate. So they don't educate you, but they regulate you. You know, they're regulating before education and just slapping a fine on you. And it is hard as a small outfit because I do all my metric work and I try to keep up with the compliance stuff, but they don't make it easy to read. They say go to section 208. It's like, guy, you jumping all over it like you should be a lawyer. Like you really need a law degree to decipher through the metric laws.
You're just trying to grow weed.
Yeah, you know, and you know, I'm just trying to grow fire product. You know, it's like, okay, so now crazy. I have to focus on metric instead of focusing on the plant, which is the only thing that really does matter is the plant. You know.
At the end of the day, yep.
And you know, and I guess, you know, the brand image, but in the end of the day, if the plant isn't good, if my harvest isn't good, it's not going to go into our brand bag, and I'm going to lose money, and we're going to be shut down. So in the end, if my energy doesn't go into the plant, we can't make money to pay these fines for the metric.
That's
you know.
Crazy. So with all that being said, like, where would you guys want to see the industry in like 2 to 3 years, like 5 years? Because you guys will be here. I feel like, you know, you made your mark enough. You figured the CRA shit out, and it becomes easier. But like, where would you like to see it go? Because I feel like it's in a weird spot right now. I can elaborate later, but it's like, you know, like what?
I'll let Timmy touch first.
Tim.
You know.
I mean, Flos will be here no matter what. I'm not going anywhere. I put my heart and soul into this business. I put all my money into it. I moved my family up here. So I'm fully invested. I come in, check in every day. No matter what kind of mood I am, I try and wipe it away at the door because I know that these plants are going to absorb that mood. No matter who I'm mad at or what I'm mad at them for, I got to let it shake off and come in with the right attitude and come in with the correct attitude, because otherwise it just also makes for a long day. if we do expand to other states, I just, it's going to be hard for me to guarantee that product will come out the same. I can give anybody my recipe, I can tell them what I'm going to do, and that person has to do it.
You
They
can't
have to put in the
replicate
law.
yourself.
Yeah, they got to put in the DLC, they got to keep it clean. One of my biggest things, everybody comes in and they says, it looks like you just mopped. It should always look like you just mopped. It shouldn't. You should
Oh, there's
never
some
see dirt on
filthy
your floor.
fucking facilities
Yeah.
out here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, cleanliness is key. I mean, that's just in life, though. Smell a grown musty man, it's like, I wouldn't hang out with him, so
Yeah.
you don't want your house
Pull
to
up
stink.
with a bunch of fast food and trash in your car. It's like, okay, definitely
Bottles
not
and shit
hired.
falling out.
Yeah.
No, I feel that.
Yeah.
But no, I just, and then, what, yeah.
Yeah, just to go off what Timmy said, the brand, what we're bringing, what we're doing, no matter where the Michigan market, the industry leads. I mean, for all we know, the borders could open up and we could be shipping out of state. You know what I mean? At that point, we don't think that would even restrict our ability to flow. If anything, it would only enable our opportunities because we are so small batch.
Yeah.
And now you have these people who want our quality and what we're doing and bringing out of Kalkaska. I see that as a possibility.
I mean, when you say borders opening up, you mean it would be
like where
federal at that point, though.
Yeah,
I don't think it'd be federal. For
well,
decades.
I mean, if they're allowing you to even ship to local states that are recreational, between Michigan and Ohio, just maybe not all 50 states, but depending on where things go.
Direct.
Timmy's never going to stop growing weed. He's never going to stop growing good weed. And even if he's in Kalkaska or he's got to take what he does somewhere else, he's going to bring it. He's going to do it.
Makes sense.
We're going to put the pieces together to have the right team to be effective, to keep the flow of what our product is and what it brings. The image, the brand is really taken off. At this point, everything's just coming very consistent. And that pride that we take in coming correct and not allowing ourselves to have another hiccup that could hurt the brand, us personally, going to be just fine. This industry, though, there are people that are running out of time.
I tell you.
I didn't mean to rhyme.
Yeah, but you did. They're shooting themselves in the foot daily. But, no, I mean, because I feel like you guys are good because, one, you don't see a lot of companies, brands today whose owners are still hands-on, feet to the ground, that make the decision to hire somebody and put it in their hands to be the face, and then they just touch the product. Because at the end of the day, if you grew some bullshit, you guys wouldn't be here. So,
facts. And I wouldn't be able to get behind a product that I didn't believe in, that I didn't see the vision in, and I didn't see Timmy's why, and I didn't see his passion. It does start from the top down.
Facility and his wife.
It's as real, as wholesome as it can get.
Yeah.
That's something I can
There
respect.
ain't no half-assing around here.
No half-ass.
No matter what position you're in, there ain't no half-assing.
Let us see it.
No whole ass everything.
Other brands take notes because that's how you do it. No, I mean, not saying that others don't, but it's the ones that do know and the ones that don't. So I know you guys are busy. I do appreciate you stopping by, rolling one up with me, telling me your story.
Yeah.
Letting the people know, man, it was great, bro. So this has been Gas Talk, another episode. Stay gassy, stay fueled up. Peace.
Thank you.